martial arts, there's internal and there's external styles, right? So Tai Chi is an internal style. Xingyi is an internal style for the Chinese, so not Japanese or any other style. Xingyi is another internal style, and yeah, Baguazhang is another internal. Those are three internal styles. So Tai Chi being grandpappy, meaning that Tai Chi is the grand ultimate. It has everything in it, right? Xingyi is called mind boxing, right? So a lot of using the mind to project the thing that you want to do or you're trying to do. And what does that mean? It means that you incorporate your mind when they say punch through a board, right? Punch through the other end of the board. That's you're projecting, right? You're using your mind as part of just not only just your physical body and the punch, you're also using your mind to direct the punch, right? So that's what Xingyi is pulling that in. Baguazhang is using twisting, turning, circles. Xingyi, which we'll focus on today, there's a lot of short stepping. There's not a lot of room. This system was designed to work in small areas, right? So, like I said, the three internal systems, they all have their pluses and minuses about the system. But Tai Chi, again, I kind of favor Tai Chi because I'm kind of biased about that because that's my grandpappy. So everything just falls into Tai Chi. It kind of just falls in there. Tai Chi, you have the yin and yang symbol, right? You have the yin and yang symbol. That represents the philosophy of Tai Chi that incorporates all of Tai Chi. Xingyi is incorporating not only in addition to the yin and yang. Xingyi is breaking it off into the 5 elements. So you have the 5 elements. You have wood. You have fire. You have metal. You have water, and you have earth. Okay. The order in which I just gave them to you, it matters, but we're not going to get into the weeds with that. You guys can go into, do some research, look up the five elements, and just see how they interact with each other, right? So it's all about those elements and how they, what the properties of those elements and how they interact internally and externally, right? So what we're going to do is going to go over some stepping. Some movements that represents those elements. For example, so this move here, this posture here is within a Santi stance, which means it's kind of a bow stance. If you're in a bow stance, which is 60-40 kind of stance, you kind of shift back at a bow stance, and you're kind of in a back stance, and that's your Santi stance. Okay, and that's gonna be the metal element. And in Xingyi, every time we do Xingyi, you're always going to start off with the metal element because it's kind of the neutral, come back, reset. So we're going to start off with the metal element into the Santi stance, and then we're going to go into the different elements from that stance. Okay. So with that said, so let's first learn what the Santi stance is. So again, like I said, we're going to go in a bow stance. And so to get into a bow stance, I'll make it simple for everybody. Feet shoulder length apart, be comfortable. And then like you're on railroad tracks with your feet parallel, just take one of that foot and slide it back. So we'll say, take your right foot, slide it back like it's on the railroad, right? So now you're on the railroad with your both feet first facing north. Now take the back foot and just kind of turn it out a little bit towards the corner, right? Now, your waist is still facing forward, right? Now you're in kind of a bow. This is a bow stance. This is your Tai Chi. If you do Tai Chi, this is the stance you're going in and out of all the time, right? So Tai Chi, this bow stance, all these things you want to do over and over and over again. Get comfortable in these stances because you're going to go in and out of these stances all the time, right? And these stances are supporting you, supporting the power in your stability, right? Your root to the ground. If your root's not there, you're not stable. If you're staying like this, not so rooted, right? So if you get in a good stance, in a good bow stance, you're solid, you're rooted, right? From that rooted stance, you can throw, kick, and block, do all these fancy things, right? I just did karate, talk about Xingyi. It's like, but you know why? Because everyone gets, it's easy to talk about, it's a generic, if I start getting the weeds about, the Chinese arts, lose people sometimes. So, in this pose stance, so now we're in this pose stance. Now we're going to shift back put the weight on that back leg, right, a little bit, and watch the knee, watch that your knee is not over your toe in that back stance, because if it's over your toe here, see if I did drop the plumb line here, and this is drop straight down, that's past my toe. That means that I'm putting too much pressure on my knees, right? So now in order to avoid that kind of, because if you have bad knees, if you have bad knees, that's going to be that's not good for you. If you have good knees, if you keep doing that, they become bad knees, right? So make sure that you keep your knee not past your toe there, okay? That's all good reason. So you're in that bow stance, you're in that Santi stance, you're kind of laid back here. Put your left arm out, this one here, out forward, and then you put your other arm right at your center line here. All right, so when Xingyi, just a couple things, real simple, keep in mind. Xingyi, you're thinking about a straight line coming from your center line. Okay? So your center is here. That's where everything's going to be in line with. Your hands are going to be along that center line, right? So keep your hands right along that center line. Keep your hands right along your center, right here. See how to keep that right down the center. So yeah, you got it. Good. So yeah, good. Right down the center, right? Keep it. See, you're off. So just go this that way, right? So if that's your center line, and you want to you can stay there. I'm going to tell you a little secret. In martial arts, you're probably going to be hitting from your center line. You're never going to punch out here, right? If anything, it's back into this. It looks like it's out there, but you're turning. The secret is that you're turning, and then it looks like you're swinging your arms, but you're not really swinging your arms. Okay? Look where your elbows are. In Tai Chi and martial arts, we talk about heavy elbows all the time. Same things apply here. It means your elbows are heavy. It means that you're coming straight down. Right? That's in your center line, right? So now this is your Santi stance. Comfortable? Should be comfortable, but you just relax. Relax your shoulders, your arms, everything. Because it has to be heavy. Right? And we're doing Xingyi, so this is a lot of this is in your mind, right? Mind boxing. That's the Santi stance. This is where that's the metal element. All right? Metal in Xingyi is considered a splitting. The idea of splitting. I'm not going to go into the whole philosophy of all this stuff. But again, read up on the 5 elements and how they interplay with each other. We'll talk about it, but I'm not going to get too deep into it. There's your metal. All right, so the next element we're going to do, shake it out. Shake it up, guys. Thanks. Next one, see, that's just, you're just standing there. We're just standing, right? Just stand, sit, right? You do all these arts, you go get all fancy about it, right? And you're like, I do all this stuff. It's like, no, just sit, and that's it. And you'll find it all in just sitting still. So metal is splitting or falling, right? You'll see this a lot in martial arts. Starting off. So we're going to start off the same idea, but this time we're going to start with our feet together. This is how we can get into. This is how we get into the Santi stance, right? We're going to go twist. Your left hand's going to be on your inside. Right hand's going to be on the outside. Your hand's going to be palms facing you. If you can twist more than I can, because I can't. twist as much as possible up your center here, right? And then you're going to launch this off. This is going to launch off of this. And as it launches, it's going to be a certain point where your timing is going to fall and have it fall down and step out. Again, it's going to go raise up. You're going to drill, raising up like this, up the center, and then you're going to fall down the center and into that Santi stance that we started off with. Right? Make sense? All right? So, what we're doing, right? I'm always talking about getting into your stance, right? Getting your stance so you're stable in that stance and have to be comfortable in the stance, because at the end of the day, your stance is where you have to be when you hit the person, right? So when you hit something, you have to be stable yourself, or else you're going to take all the blunt of that force. It's physics, right? So you have to not absorb all the impact. You have to be able to bounce that back to them. But if you're not stable on the ground yourself, that power, as hard as you can hit, you're going to hurt yourself. So you want to give. I remember. I always remember like playing football as a running back, and they get tackled all day. But the best feeling was always when you as a runner you hit someone and you ran over them, when your energy went over theirs. It's no fun hitting something and going back the other way. That's not fun. So, but also the other thing it provides though is that in martial arts, you know where it starts. You know where you're going to start the technique and how it's going to end. What's happening in between, shouldn't worry about. So you're always hear the phrases like, well, just do the move. Just do the move. Don't think about it. So the move is that I get out, that I end up here. How I got there doesn't matter. I can get there, whatever. Just get there. And whatever's in your path as you're trying to get there, you're going to move it. Okay? Don't worry about what's there. Just do the move. So we'll go into these. So I say all that. So we're going into the Santi stance over here. This is the end of the metal element, right? So it starts off here, but it ends up into this Santi stance that we've sat in for a little bit. Right? So let's do it again. It's a little tougher to kind of coordinate here. So right arm, left arm's inside where your elbow's bending here. Just come drilling up. And it's launching off the launch pad. You're using your arm as a launch pad, and it's launching off, and then you're down your center, you're coming down, straight down. But then you're gonna drill up, come back, you come up with now your left hand's up high. Your weight's on your left foot, right foot. You're gonna step out forward, and you're gonna switch sides. And you come up this way. Someone said do it this way. Then you're going to step down, come back. This is why you do this and do it slow and you work the timing. The timing's everything, man. If you rush through it, my teachers always use analogies of like, a race car track or something, right? And you go around a race car track, and there's streets. You hit the berm, you're coming into that corner. You can't accelerate into the corner. Right? You're not going to accelerate into the corner. You accelerate out of the corner. So you're going into it. You gotta make sure you hit it at the right. There's going to be a certain point. Now I can speed up. Right? So this is that point where am I going? I'm going around the corner. Where am I? I'm not on the side. Now I'm there. I can speed up now. Right? So that's what we're doing. Again, using the mind again to help with this. Right? You don't have to, put all Fa Jing and all that stuff into it, right? Just get there. And just even just have the intent of that. Okay? There you go. See metal? And your Santi stance. See what I'm doing? I always see me do this. I always do this rolling of the hands. Even when I'm not doing the steps, right? You're just rolling the hands over. So what you're doing. So you always this come up. This hand. See again. So you guys didn't want to see it. So I'm coming up. It comes in. This hand here, the first one. But then I have to come up here. That's the timing, right? Because what I don't want to do is go, it comes in, be like ahead of myself with this hand. This hand, this can't be, the timing has to be here. Right? So we practice these martial arts, we do it, and in class we do it kind of slow. Yes? Sure. And in martial arts, we do these kind of slow. So the reason why we're doing it slow is so that I need to time this. I need to know, where do I accelerate on the move? How close do I need to be to him? Or how, I need to figure this out. So as he's coming in, I'm doing this. That works. But the thing is, what he has to feel when he comes in, what he has to feel is that he's in control until he's not. Right? He goes off the edge. Literally goes off the edge like a cliff. Right? Ask him. So again, this comes up. His hand's on the inside, right? It's on the inside. I'm timing it. Still doing, just doing the move. Good. Thanks, man. So it's I know when he's reached his point even before he starts to withdraw his arm, right? Because if a punch, no one's going to leave their arm out there. But even if he pulls his arm back, you can follow it forward. Because to me, a fist, an arm, and anything that's thrown at you is like catching a star, shooting stars. God, there you go. Thank you. You just grab it and just do whatever you want to do with it after a while. But you have to grab it though. You can't just you just can't hit it because you'll miss it if you just hit it. So there it is. Now I can do what I want to do with it. Right?